Hi, I'm Colin from Performance Parts. We're here as a technical partner of FS-3 Kawasaki, the official BSB Kawasaki team for the UK, and we're going to have a look behind the scenes. Let's go. So I'm here with Darren Fry. Darren's co-founder of Team FS-3 Kawasaki, the official BSB superbike team. And we're here really to find out what happens behind the scenes and what it takes to actually run the BSB team. So from a technical point of view, you mentioned valves and the engines and hot. Let's talk about the bike. So 2021 new ZX10. From your perspective, obviously we've probably all read the Kawasaki blurb on the bike, but is it significantly different from last year's bike? Is it a whole new ground up bike, or is it just minor changes? What does it mean to you as a team?
It's a fairly significant step forward in the engine. We've been able to mess around with a few other things within the engine, but on the plus side, it's not massively different. It's a bit. You'd probably call it 9/11 territory. It's right. Evolution rather than revolution. Okay. But the aero package on it. I mean, everybody's looking at it and going, "Well, it's not got massive wings on it." Mm. Well, everybody also forgets that Kawasaki make everything from missiles to bullet trains to aircraft, etc., etc. And they're the only company out of all of them that have got 4 of their own wind tunnels in Japan.
Right.
So this aero package apparently was originally tested about 4 years ago, but it's supposed to give significant downforce gains, so on and so forth. I think some of the big European tracks would see more of a gain than
the shorter UK tracks. Yeah.
But yeah, the whole package has been improved. But it's also within the realms that we can use a lot of the data from the old bike.
So it still feels like the same Kawasaki, but it's just enhanced and improved, you'd say. Is that how you...
Yeah.
From our perspective, we've always worked closely together with you guys, with Akrapovic exhausts and with Galespeed master cylinders and wheels, that kind of thing. But I know you guys went out to the Akrapovic factory at the start of this year when you got the new bike to refine and develop the system that the R&D boys have built for you there.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a customer exhaust. You have a bespoke built Akrapovic special system. But we were talking before this, and the customer exhaust actually is closely styled and developed around your superbike system now, isn't it? We were talking about the benefits of development that pull through into production. So anyone who's buying an Akrapovic full system for a 21 ZX10 is getting a system that's very similar to the one that's been developed on your bike.
It's quite interesting. Obviously you can spend a fortune on engine development and get nowhere. You can spend a fortune on trying different bits and bobs that gain you no advantage. One major breakthrough last year was the new exhaust that Akrapovic supplied us. We put it on the dyno and I had a bit of I think they thought the dyno had gone faulty. It's not very often you see the gains that we saw, and genuinely that's not a sales ploy. It was quite a shock. I mean, Matt rang us when he'd seen the data off the dyno and was like, "Wow, you're not going to believe what this has gained us." Obviously we won't divulge figures, but it was really,
I remember that phone call. Yeah,
really significant. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure you quite believe.
No.
Believe the gain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite used to seeing significant gains with the Akrapovic. I know how good the product is. And I know how good the guys are. And when you imagine they work with MotoGP, World Superbike, all sorts of highest end motorsport, I know what they can achieve. But also, even for me, you were already working with their customer exhaust on the bike.
Yeah.
And really that gain that we all saw was measured between an existing Akrapovic race system and the one that was developed specially for you. And I don't think I've ever seen that leap in one particular event.
I think it was, a combination. Obviously, the exhaust design was built around a BSB spec engine. Our spec engine was fairly similar to every Kawasaki on the grid, to be fair. But yeah, it was a major step forward for us, and whether you see it on the dyno or not, sometimes you give it to the rider and they go, "Oh, that's horrible," or "That's unrideable," but straight away they felt the game. And obviously from there we sent a bike this year over to them. They refined the system furthermore, and it's working much better. Also, it's working much better in this. It's the fine detail, isn't it? They've improved the clearance. They've slightly altered the collector. And it's all.
Whereas those marginal gains, they took, Team Sky used to talk about it in cycling, didn't they?
Yeah.
If you 0.5% here, 0.5% there, a slight improvement here, and the collective result in that is a significant improvement.
Exactly. But that's what they do best, isn't it? And now with the super stock system, that's showing elements of significant elements of the superbike system that we're running. So that's quite interesting to see that they carried over some of that design process, and the R&D from the superbike straight to a system that
customer
can buy and run on the road bike even.
Absolutely. I think we've already covered that we're a close technical partner of you guys and have been since the team started. But for the guys that are viewing out there, how do you decide which partners you're going to use for the various elements of the bikes? Brakes, wheels, chain sprockets, exhaust, lubricants. How do you find the best partners? You establish that that's what you want to use. The riders may have a favoured product, or do suppliers approach you, or do you have to go and find a suitable partner? How does it work? To run a team, there are so many components on that bike that you have to bring in. How do you know you've got the right ones and the best ones?
Well, you start with the bike itself. We end up with just the frame, the engine, the throttle bodies and airbox from the original bike. So if you think that from there on in, we have to replace everything to bring it up to BSB specification. Exhaust, master cylinders, brakes, calipers, wheels, swing arms, everything. A lot of stuff we make or have made to our specification, but then you tend to go for, you go for the best of the best. But also you want to start thinking outside the box slightly, because if there's an advantage from trying something nobody else has tried, or an advantage from trying something new, then you don't want to have your head stuck in the sand and just that's always got to be what you put on the bike. From the point of view from the exhaust system, my personal view is there's not a better exhaust system or development program than Akrapovic. Again, not trying to sell the product, it's a genuine thought. We also use Galespeed master cylinders. Now that's something I know a few teams have tried and loved, but due to contractual issues and so on and so forth, they all end up going down the same route. I think that's a technical advantage that we've found, and quite interestingly, this year already we've been asked a lot about it, the performance of it, how we feel, But the other thing is, you really need. It's not only the products, but you need the backup, and you need the experience of the people supplying it. And if it's fine to say I'm going to use X, Y, and Z, but if I can't, then get it. And if they're not prepared to put in the stock and the supply that you can then buy it off them, you you're wasting your time.
Yeah, you need that reliability.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
supply,
and that's something, you know, we've had a fantastic relationship, you know, over and above the racing, but you've got the same ethos as we have, you know, and we've got the same ethos as you, which is, you know, you've got to put yourself behind it and put yourself, you know, you've got to commit to that product, and we've got to commit to the product as well and make it work. And the easy thing is, with the products we have off you, it's we just tend to strap them on and they work. So it makes our life a lot easier. But from a point of view of other bits and pieces, you know, sometimes we'll get approached to run the product. Sometimes you quite have to quite politely decline, and that's quite difficult sometimes because obviously people believe in the product that they're trying to put on the bike. But it's everything from rider safety to performance to, you know, continuity of supply, so on and so forth. You know, it's the same. That everything that's on the bike, we have a good relationship with the people that supply it, and that's just as important as the product. Because if you don't have that relationship, you just wasting your time.
We've provided you with the Galespeed master cylinders, but in order to ensure that they were of an appropriate standard for your team, that you're at a point where you can believe in it and the riders believe in it, because there's no more critical thing than brakes. We provided you with some samples and you went away and tested them. So that's kind of that's where we have to be, isn't it? That's the value of pre-season testing, that you can rigorously test the product, get the riders on board, and then you can move to that product and believe that it will do the job throughout the season. And I think that's quite difficult, certainly in the past few years with limited testing, to find the track time to try and develop new ideas and new products. So there's perhaps a little bit of a built-up opportunity there to explore other avenues, because you are quite innovative with the things that you do.
I mean, the lads are always trying to find, you know, a way of, you know, gaining the upper hand, or you know, trying something. I mean, you very quickly run out of time to try these things. That's the problem. You know, you've got to back-to-back stuff. You've got to find time in a session. The weather's got to be right. You've got to get the data from whatever you're trying. I mean, we've got 2 or 3 things from yourself that we're waiting to test and try it, but you know, with the compressed season and lack of testing, some of those things will even have to wait till the end of the year. But you've got to keep going forward, because if you stand still, you're not going to get
it,
and then you're just wasting time and money.
Isn't it?
But but it is very it's quite interesting, because you come from the support paddock and you've been racing a long while and you think to yourself, oh yeah, you know, I know how to go racing. And then you watch these boys at it and you go, I never had a clue how to go racing. I was just loading up
man in the van. Matt's over there and he's instrumental in the team, but there must be a huge learning curve within the team as well, because you know, when you consider the bikes that Matt rode in BSB, ZX7s and 916s, and there wasn't the level of technology on them that there is now. So there must be a huge pressure on everyone within the team to keep learning. Every day is a school day, isn't it?
Yeah,
it must
definitely. Yeah, I mean, like the bikes Matt rode, they've probably got less power than the team scooter now. But, you know, but that's when men were men, wasn't it? Matt? But no, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a lot more, and I think that's a major benefit now. It was a lot more rider feel and rider input, you know,
control.
And getting that across how the bike's feeling. Whereas now, with the data, you know, the lads can come in and, I mean, we've got 2 mega lads now, which is, they will come in and they'll put that, if they've crashed and it's their fault, they put their hands up and they go, my fault.
Right.
I've done it.
That's good.
And then you can see on the data and it goes, yeah, it was their fault.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest waste of time And my pet hate is anybody go, oh, you know, an elephant jumped out and scared the mouse and made me crash. Well, you know, it's a waste of time because you look at the data and it tells you exactly why you crashed. You know, it's physics at the end of the day, or it's, you know, human error, you know, or you've got a problem with the bike. And if you can see a problem with the bike, but this is another thing that we're constantly sort of investing in, you know, like a very quick sort of anecdote on that. We put tyre pressure sensors on the bike. Went to a very cold test day at Croft. Danny crashed at the last corner on an outlet. Normally you'd have gone, oh, for God's sake, Danny, you know, what the hell, you know, but we could see that the tyre pressure had dropped dramatically.
Right. Oh, okay.
Because it'd take a little bit longer to get out of the garage, a little bit longer to get to the end of pit lane.
Right.
The tyre pressure hadn't come up, tyre was at the wrong pressure, the carcass was at the wrong pressure, so on and so forth. It was going to spit him off.
Wow.
So you could say to the rider, you could say, look, don't lose your confidence, you didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
But by the same token,
you've learned that there needs to be something put into place to not allow that to happen again.
But by the same token, they'll come in and they'll go, oh, it's doing this. Well, it's because you're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, not. Well, you are, because it says it on the screen.
So it's a permanent monitor on the rider's performance.
So it's anti-lie device. But so it's about investing in all those things as well as the actual out and out performance parts.
So that was a behind the scenes look at FS-3 Kawasaki. I'm Colin at Performance Parts. If you like the video, please like, subscribe and leave your comments below. Thank you for watching.